Hello guys and welcome everyone to today's special stream here on rFactor 2. Guys, welcome to a release video regarding the brand new ABB FIA Formula E Gen3 car on the rFactor 2 simulation. So we are in the game. We are currently having a look at the Formula E car of the third generation. And I do not know if you guys have already seen Formula E races of the current season. Personally, I think that race series is pretty badass and is pretty nice to watch. There's tons of action, tons of racing action happening on the track, and I think these Gen 3 cars, those are proper race machines. But I'm obviously interested in your opinion. So, what do you think on the Gen 3 car? What do you think on Formula E in general? Put it down in the comments area below, and we'll get a discussion going on this after the stream. However, now we want to find out how this car is working, how this car is looking out on track, and how this is working on rFactor 2. However, before we are able to do so, we need to fix a couple of things on our simulation as such. So I've picked the car. I've picked London Formula E as the racetrack, and I've picked 21 AI opponents. But most importantly, what I've did for the moment on the graphics side, I have selected the new Studio 397 HUD, which will show us different gauges when it comes to use on the engine, especially for Formula E. We will see that in a couple of moments. But before we get going, it's very important that we assign a few more controls regarding this Formula E car. So, what I've done before is I have saved the current profile as the GT Enduro, and I will also rename this file now FPE Formula E, because you will have to adjust and assign some more buttons, which means, or which are, nothing on this page, but here. Usually you're having increment or decrement of mixture. This time you need to map this on the electric motor map. So I will put this here. Yes, I will put the decrement there. What you also need, instead of the brake map, you need to be adjusting the region on the engine, so when braking and everything. And last but not least, you need to be able to arm the attack mode, which I put on the button that I usually use for DRS or flashing the headlights. So, those are the 5 specific Formula E controls that you need to set. And that you need to think about before jumping into Formula E races. Having said that, what I'm going to do is I save this profile again so that it's correct, and then I would say we're about to get going here for the racing. Good evening, everyone. It is a tricky and hard car to drive. Well, we're about to find out, I guess. Found the car twitchy on the accelerator, a lot of torque on the rear wheels. Yes, this car is a pretty dreadful machine, I guess. Remember, it got 350 kilowatts on power, and it's not the heaviest car ever built. So that means the power ratio per kilogram is quite huge. Anyway, how it will be able, or how it will be driven around the circuit here in London, we are about to find out. And we're also going into the race so I can demonstrate on how the engine, like the energy, not the energy, yeah, well, the energy management is working. And oh no, sadly, the race lab app not working because I opened RaceLab apps after. Let's see if it comes up. We're lucky. Great, awesome, perfect. All right, so we have said everything. Before we talk about the HUD, first of all, a few setups clicks. So make sure the electric motor map is set to the maximum. It will be set automatically to what is available in the race. Tires, as usual, minimum tire pressure on rFactor 2 tires. Maximum pedal force, I put it 100% usually, just for the feel. Brake bias, it's interesting that there isn't brake bias. To my understanding, only front brakes in the Formula E car, because the rear brakes are only there for regeneration on the engine. I will leave everything else for the moment in standard. It is literally like a Formula car to be set up. And, well, we are about to find out how good it goes. I put all the weight to the back for the moment. Not sure if that is a smart thing to do, but we'll find out. And then I think we're going to get out on track. And before we actually going out on track, we have a new HUD system here on rFactor 2. So at the bottom line, you can now see throttle, brake. Well, there is no clutch right now, but most importantly, as you can see, there is now engine data and fuel usage, or in this type of display, energy usage to be seen, which you can see, like, as soon as we're pressing the accelerator, energy usage goes up, and as soon as we hit the brake, we have the regen coming up as well. So I quickly pause this here right now. Single player for the win. On the top, we have a more cleaned up HUD below our mirror, showing the positions, the lap count, the time to go, even weather conditions, live weather conditions back in percent here on the HUD system. And I think that is going to be very interesting for a lot of players. And yeah, we're going to find out how the weather is working later on. And on the top right, you'll find the delta. I think the biggest change on this HUD, beside the indicator there on the middle, is literally the whole cleanup and the removal of I think the colored lap time delta. But we're here to find out how this car is driving, so I guess we're about to get going. I have to admit, I am not quite familiar with the track, so we're finding out how the track is to be driven, and I will push the car around the circuit as strong as I can. Only one single gear. And as I've already mentioned, tons of energy on the rear axis. So that will get the car going a whole lot. And you need to be really, really careful with that accelerator. I'm not even sure if that is a smart track to show off the performance that is possible with the car, but I decided to simply go for it. Oops. I'm not quite sure if I like the sounds, though. Mickey Mouse part. Yeah, you guys need to be a bit patient with me learning the track. But I guess you can deal with that for a moment. Oops. Heavy braking zone, and you see there is so much power on this car. It really speeds up a lot, and it can reach up to 322 kilometers per hour, so it's identically quick to a Formula 1 car in a straight line, at least. And obviously right now we're going full beans around the track, so that will be no good for our energy usage, or our energy... oh dear, a front wing. We better drive around it. This will not be good for our energy management, of course. So we can't go full beans all the way in the race. Need to be very smart. And you need to be very careful, because every little bit of wheel spin, every little bit of... Yes, crash. I'm sorry, a bonk. So yeah, every little bit of wheel spin, every little bit of lockup on the tire will take energy out of the system, which is no good when it comes to the race and your efficiency. Also, I'm very sorry, but this racetrack obviously keeps me very busy looking at the walls and everything. Yes, you can turn the halo. I'm not sure if you can turn it completely off, but you can at least make it a bit more transparent. Hello, Papaku. Thank you for joining us. And you can imagine what we need for this car at some point. Anyway, for the time being, I'm trying to get this as fast as possible around the London E-Prix track without spinning it this time. This is going to be nuts. Ooh, too fast again. Ow. Tyvox, thank you so much for your follow on Twitch. Much appreciated. Heavy on the brakes. And now you can already see how the HUD is working, how the Formula E car as such is working. Because as we are on throttle, we're burning energy, and you can see the percentage of energy that we burn, or the percentage of power that we demand out of the electric engine, which is 0 right now. So we're coasting a whole lot. And as soon as I'm hitting the brakes, I'm recuperating energy on the rear axis only. So this will be the important part for the drivers to gain back enough energy on the braking zones and not waste too much energy on the straights. There is a yellow flag. I'm afraid that this AI is not yet well calibrated around the racetrack, but so aren't we. 126.4, second and 1 off the pace, so we're trying to gain that pace somewhere around the corners. This one would be a good corner to gain some time. Yes, much more fluid. This is the last lap that I'm going to do full beans. Because not going into that wall will surely give us the second that we need. And then we need to turn sharp around the turn. Well, the hairpins. Very interesting racetrack indeed in that aspect here. Then obviously here's some time to gain without crashing, hopefully. Well, I missed the corner, but here is the attack mode. I can show you that in a moment as well. What you need to do in order to get the attack mode activated on your car. And we're going around the final turns. It's a Mickey Mouse, left and right. Chickens everywhere. Well, I think that sound is still a bit odd, but it is what it is. 124.6. And we burned 4% of energy, as you can see on the HUD last lap. So this time around, trying to then get the energy management correct. For a 44 lap race, which we need to do on this racetrack, 2.27% of battery usage allowed at maximum. So here we're trying to be really, really gentle. Lift and coast. Energy recuperation. Go tight around the turns. You have a wheel spin indicator, which is really, really useful. It should actually never light up. We're doing the coasting thing here. And recuperation. Regenerating energy on the battery. Going around the turn. You can really make use of that post balance that the car has, which I think is pretty nice. So we're coming around the final 2 turns, and then we're about to see whether our energy harvesting has been enough. 3.12. So the answer to that is no. So even more energy harvesting on energy management to be done. Maybe I also picked the wrong battery, but I don't think so. Let's see what is available on the battery. Nothing to be set there. So the only thing that one could set is running with less power. Not sure if is it just 300 for the race. It could also just be 300 for the race. But yeah, anyway, I'm trying to make sure to hit those numbers that we need. Yeah, I think the car would be amazing to be driven with the slicks. I could also imagine the full log takes a lot of energy out of the system. They're trying to use it as slim as possible. So let's see what this is then, 2.67. So we're coasting a lot more now. Into this turn. Tight we go. Coast we do. Ah, too fast, understeer. And that is bad for the energy management for sure. This is even worse. And lockups are even worse than anything else. I know many of you guys will be like, nah, this Formula E stuff, like saving all day long, and this is not really what racing is about. I can agree up to a certain extent. But I think it's a new kind of form of racing that can still be appreciated to a certain extent. So let's see how this lap then was. 2.86. Well, I wonder whether I have the correct lap count, if it's really 44. I don't know, but I've been given that number when looking on the race distance. So this is the final lap of preparation. Then we go into a race and see how we can race the AI against that. I see flying car parts. So we take it easy on the energy. Something very, very important in these races on this car is going to be slipstream. Since the car is so powerful, it will create a little bit of draft, and that little bit of draft could make the difference between 0.1% of battery usage a lap or not. And that could make a massive difference when it comes towards attacking. So 2.61, I can't get it any lower. So what we're going to just do is we jump into the race and simply get going and race till the battery is dead. Good evening, Vindis. How is the new update? Well, we're still about to find out. I'm stiffing a bit the rear, or making it a bit more stable. Other than that, not much really. I want to get into it about maybe the spring rate a click softer in the rear and then click stiffer in the front, so we matching what a usual Formula car has. And then I think we're just going straight into the race. Not sure where I'm starting now. 44 laps it is. We're starting dead last. So, yeah, motor map limited to 300. And we're going racing here at London. Illegal pass. Well, okay, we better restart this real quick. So where did I do an illegal pass? Maybe that is because of the pit entry. At Studio 397, we need fixes. So we let them race. Oh, I can see where this is going already. Anyway, we're still going to race though. I expected exactly that to happen anyway with the AI. Remember, this car just got released, so there is still some hot fixes that needs to be done on the AI. Anyway, we are racing a bit, and we're checking on the rain, as I said. 5% of rain, that means that is a drizzle. And now we're checking what the wetness is doing on the track. Remember, those Hankook tires are designed to do both dry conditions and wet conditions. It's a tire for all circumstances, as it is just a standard road car tire. So, and I can see already me trying to save the energy for the race is not getting me anywhere in terms of performance. I accidentally ran over the attack modes. Well, I effed up on the slopes. So what you need to do in order to enable the attack mode, you need to press the button, then you need to drive over the attack mode slopes, and then attack mode gets activated for you. I think this is a fun racetrack, to be honest. I like this racetrack a lot more over than other racetracks of Formula E. Well, probably not those on rFactor 2, because I think Rome is interesting, or more interesting. But then anything else is just like a bit boring. I think like even Berlin is a bit boring. And so you now can see the AI is also starting the saving train. As we're now catching up to the guys ahead. Oh dear, I just ran into the wall, and that will do me very, very bad on the energy. Because that just takes additional power out of the battery. So obviously here no rain, as we are on the inside. Too much buttons and modes. I think there is not much buttons and modes anyway. Like, you need to have a region, and you need to have engine map, and you need to have an attack mode armor. Anything else is just like on a standard car on rFactor 2. If anything, you don't need to set any ABS whatsoever. Car. So I think we're catching guys ahead, and I'm still trying to somehow keep the energy straight. Meanwhile, rain intensity 30%. Ow, 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 this is no good. Yeah, this will be costly on both lap time and energy, of course. But we're coming closer to that bunch ahead, so that's great. Rain in the meanwhile intensifies. And we try to get into the draft, trying to dodge the car pads that are around here everywhere. Trying also to avoid running into the cars. So 2.82. Maybe I'm not operating that brake enough. Because remember, you're only recuperating if you are hitting that brake. And even if it's just a percent here or there, not crashing into that wall will surely help. And crashing into that wall will surely not help at all. I think what I did before, apart from almost losing that position, is maybe I was braking just simply too hard. Therefore, not really able to even harvest anything on the energy, and the car is really slippery to drive around here. So that means braking earlier, taking the 60% of regeneration. Maybe that gets me where the energy needs to be, instead of just coasting the car around here. Oh shit. So what does the energy say this time? 260. I'm more afraid that you can't really use less than what I use. Apart from like going even, ow, slower. Ow. Well, I crashed into this wall last time, so maybe not crashing into it will do me good on that. So the AI, I think, is cheating. They are not saving at all. But I mean, how much more do I need to save, really? I blame the settings. Meanwhile, you can see 40% of track wetness. Very crucial to not go too hot into the corners now with a brake. You see the car is sliding a lot. And I think the best that you can do in those conditions at this stage now is just simply coast the car around the corners. And wait for the dry patches. Like here, to push again. So not running into that wall will help on the energy. That's great, that's good. 2.55, there is hope. So guys, what is your thought on it? Yeah, we only have one single gear, which basically is drive mode. Don't crash into that wall, Michi. Don't crash. Can't see a single thing there at the front. Oof. Coming now closer a bit to these guys. We won't make it to the race end anyway. But we're trying to maybe... Okay, I mean, I can't outbrake these guys. Simply because they run throttle all the way till they break. Kilogram KG, thank you so much for your follow on Twitch. Much appreciated. So let's say AI is not the best way to have a Formula E race on rFactor 2, but if you are fast enough, then you can jump into the Formula E Accelerate Championship 2023. Qualifying for that starts tomorrow, goes till Sunday, top 88 to go into a 4-split quarterfinal on Tuesday. 3 races, 3 30-minute races, I think. It's going to be a damn long event, I think, on 3 times 30 minutes. I think it's around Berlin. They start around Berlin because Berlin is where the next Formula E-Prix is happening. So that's that. TSAP17, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, but they have built that possibility of making the Halo invisible into the sim like already a long time ago. So meanwhile, 2.43%, I've reached some, well, how shall I say this? Some point of even using less energy. Very surprised about that myself, but yeah, I mean, I'm going extremely slow. Here, a lot of semi-throttle indeed. There's some yellow flag somewhere. Here's a traffic jam. We can go around the outside. Let's go. Come on. Yes, we gained 2 positions. So awesome. So good. Coasting through this area and a little bit of throttle. It is extremely slippery. 60% rain, 60% track wetness, but you can see on the dash we have 79% of battery state of charge left. Running into the back of that car wasn't the smartest thing. .49%, but you know, I need to start lifting here already in order to kind of make it close to where we need to be. So the big issue I have is, oh dear, we would have 34 laps to go, but you can also see on the dash laps in tank 31.2, so I need to somehow start gaining like a lot of energy. However I'm going to do this though, that is kind of irrelevant. I would just need to get it somehow. I could be a smart boy and put a motor map to 2. 1 would probably be safety car. But on 2 I'm really using even less energy, so less wheel spin possible. So that way we could probably regain some energy. And I'm somehow tempted to find out in 44 laps whether we really would make it to the end, and what if the AI would make it to the end especially. I'm more interested to see whether the AI is able to do it. Hey! Please tell me that was the wall, because if it was you, I need you to get the penalty. Emax Motorsport, yep, this is the AI indeed. Oh, very nice. Yes, so speaking about AI, here we go. Can you now please drive? I need the coast. Thank you. 2.35% of battery usage, which is kind of awesome. I need to brake going down the hill. But what's not awesome at all is the fact that those guys are simply going flat out over the straight. We will later on still do some GT Challenge practice. Oh yeah, too much understeer, oh my god. In the Mercedes around Indianapolis, I've just decided to move that a bit further to the back in order to bring you guys the Formula E experience a bit. And I hope that you appreciate this. I'm locked up. Car turn. Oof. Yeah, LFM could use more races for sure to get the system going. 2.25 now on the bet. Amazing. That's what we need, actually. But arguably, yeah, that is not the type of racing that we appreciate. I can probably relate to that. It is, like, in those settings is a bit overdone, I'm afraid. But generally speaking, I do like the effect of having to save a little bit. Oh no, you crashed into the wall, I'm sorry. Was that me? Aye. Yeah, I need to go even slower around these turns then. Understood? It wasn't smart. Yes, was a bonk. Just making sure not to lock up. And not to wheel spin. I think that was close to the fastest ever. I was going around. These, don't want to even call it a chicken. But I'm afraid it is a chicken. It is a completely different type of racing, I may agree with that. So 2.26. I am sick of it. Engine map up. Let's try to race these guys a bit. Under full beans. And then we just stop the car at some point. Can we do a pit stop? That would be obviously amazing. We would be doing a pit stop. and we can recharge some energy and go full yeet. First, we're trying to go full yeet here in the draft. Yeah, car doesn't like full yeet. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that turn came later than I thought it would. Alright, box, one-stop strategy. Here we go. And I think that might be what the AI is doing anyway as well. So we see how that works, if that even works. Probably was a stupid idea. No change of the tire, thank you. No energy. F, we just F'd ourselves. Alright, here we go, a little bit of fun. Couple of more minutes, then we go straight to the GT Challenge stream. You guys, whoops, have me some feedback on what you think on the car, as we do a nice 360 with some wall contact. Meanwhile, the rain has stopped. I appreciate that tire really working, or sort of working, on the wet patch as well. Makes it damn interesting, but it's a super hard car to drive. Yes, GT Challenge practice right tonight after this stream. That is correct. That is obviously what I had usually planned. Let's see if I can take the attack mode this time. Attack mode is armed, now it's active, so we went through the slope. And have maximum power available now. For I think a minute or so. Oh my god. What a car. Look at the power. Wheel spin possible on that short sprint up to 205 kph. I will give it another try with saving. I think I could probably save more if I'm braking harder and more focused, but let's see. For the time being, we try to deal with that attack mode. No grip on the rear. Ah. Into the barrier another time. I think attack mode is still on. Which means then a 2-minute attack mode, I assume. So we should get still some attack mode on the start-finish straight, hopefully. Because there we would need it now. Setting up for the move. Need a better exit. Too much wheel spin though. What a dive. Alright guys, I think we've seen everything. At least most of it. I maybe should have picked Berlin as a track also to showcase the energy harvesting and stuff, but I think with the AI on the track it would have been either way disastrous. as the AI seemingly is not saving any of the energy. So this is quite a bit one way. Papa Kun, I'm trying to find it for you later on. Jerome, if you could help out, that would be awesome. I will go for one final lap trying with harder braking to get somewhere near the required 2.0%. This is not working, or like, you can already feel it. So meanwhile, the I think the racing line is close to being dry already. Can push the car a lot harder now. Hey, Björn, how you doing? Yes, long time no see. A bit harder now on the brakes for more region. Yeah, this is not working though. One could have said I tried hard, but I still failed. Well, it happens. I hope that for those esport races, they're not picking too harsh of energy management. 2.47. I think that's already better than what I thought I would do. And I think we retire the car here for a moment and actually go to the monitor, press fast forward, and see if the guys at some point are running out of energy. The problem is I would probably need to fast forward it a lot. I will make this a bit more nice for your ears. Let me say it like this. If they are using 4% of energy, they're making it to lap 25, which is about soon. Anyway, guys, what is your thought on the car? What is your thought on the Formula E content? Put it down in the comments area below. Put it also in the chat if you wish to. And beyond that, guys, I'm looking forward to see you hopefully in the GT Challenge stream. I will keep the fast forwarding on though. So we see when they run out of energy and can laugh about them. And if they don't run out of energy, then they are clearly cheating. Because you see it from the way they are driving, we can also obviously have a look on that. We follow our friend Sergio set the camera around the circuit. So they are locking up the wheels. They are going throttle brake, throttle brake. This is not very energy efficient at all. Needless to say that, I guess. So there is room for optimization there for Studio 397, but again, the car was just released today. I'm pretty sure they also kind of had to rush it because, you know, it's a bit early for a Q2 content drop already. But anyway, it is the Q2 content drop with the Formula E runners. And yeah, with the eSports Championship starting tomorrow. I think they had to meet a deadline, which is why they pushed it out today. How am I liking the new HUDs? I am not quite sure. I will now switch back to the old HUD that I always used. I think it's an interesting approach. I appreciate what they were trying with the odometer, with showing the inputs, the live telemetry on the on it. I think that is something good. They finally added how much fuel left in laps, which is amazing. I think that is really what was lacking on the other UI. But ultimately, I think the removal of the color delta is no good. I personally will miss it because I used it in order to find out how I'm approaching the corners, how I'm performing in corners, and so on. With that now being gone, just literally being a number, I don't have this peripheral view showing me somewhere where the delta is moving. So yeah, I would still appreciate the old one. Lazaros, you should check out the Studio 397 webpage because there is the Formula E Accelerate Championship 2023 announced. It starts tomorrow with a qualifier over the weekend. Top 88 to make it to the semi-final. Semi-final is going to be 4 split, 22 drivers each. 3 times 30-minute races. Top 22 driver across all the semi-finals, making it to the big final. Then the top 22 into the big final. That goes for Berlin. That goes, I think, then for Rome. And the top 11 out of, after the standings of Rome and Berlin, they make it to London to the big final, which will be an on-site event. That is the format in short. If you want to be 100% sure how it's looking like, you need to check out on the competition system itself. In the meanwhile, we've reached lap 28, so I assume the AI is cheating. Infinite energy on the battery, so nothing you can do as a human being. Anyway, guys, that's gonna take us to the end of this stream here on the new Formula E Gen3 car. Guys, I hope you appreciated the show. I hope you appreciated the content. If you do so, if you like what you've seen here, then please have a follow on Twitch, subscribe us on the YouTube channel, make this community grow, and don't run too far away because we're going to be back live in 15 minutes on the scheduled stream regarding the GT Challenge on YouTube. The stream will straight reconnect to the game, to the stream about the GT Challenge. And then, guys, we see each other back in 15 minutes for the Mercedes around Indianapolis. Guys, we need to do race laps, race laps. And we're going to find out how the Mercedes is around Indianapolis. Guys, thank you for your time. Once again, if you have any questions, if you have any comments on the car, on the content, whatsoever, on the HUD, put it down in the comments area below, and we're going to get this discussed. Guys, thank you for your time. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.